before you can throw like an MVP, catch like an all-star, or hit like a Hall of Famer, you'll have to work like a Gabe Kapler. K-Swiss.
Welcome to Taco Night at the Andersons.
Hey, it's a steamer Marshmallow Man!
Taco Night is also movie night at the Andersons.
Get a coupon for a free Blockbuster video when you bring home the new Grande meal from Taco Bell. It's a mountain of food for just $9.99.
1, 2, 3, pasta!
Wow, let's make s'mores.
Until next time.
Zero pressure Michelin. So revolutionary it won't go flat, even with the puncture the size of a golf ball, letting you drive up to 50 miles at 55 miles per hour. Just what you'd expect from Michelin.
For great advice about digital technology, head for Circuit City. If you're looking for a DVD player, make sure you choose one with DivX. Only DVD players with DivX play both DVD and DivX movie discs. DivX lets you watch movies at home for about what it costs to rent, but you never have to return movies or pay late fees. This RCA DVD player with DivX is only $349.99, and get any 5 DivX movies free after rebate. Plug into DivX at Circuit City.
My big sister, Susie, was my idol. And when she was 33 years old, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She looked at me and said, "You have to promise me you'll do everything you can to fight this disease." In our family, we were taught to take care of each other. I'm fighting for a cure. I'm doing it for Susie. Who will you do it for?
Second round, the Cleveland Browns top this round as they do all of them. A moment ago, Gene Washington with Cleveland's pick.
With the 32nd selection in the second round, the Cleveland Browns pick wide receiver Kevin Johnson from Syracuse.
Well, Mel, he doesn't have to change uniform or helmet. I mean, they wear the same thing at Syracuse.
He'll look good in that brown uniform, Chris. You look at Kevin Johnson, the kid who was a quarterback coming into Syracuse, played as a backup to Donovan McNabb, then moved to wide receiver after McNabb seized the position. Here against West Virginia, adjusting to the poorly thrown ball, makes the catch. Here, Donovan McNabb puts it right on the money. Then after the catch, Johnson makes people miss, gets it into the end zone. Here, takes the option toss from McNabb, turns the corner against Michigan into the end zone again. Look at the hands. This is a kid, like I said, still a little limited experience at wide receiver, but good hands, very confident. Here's a kickoff returner. It's against the Miami Hurricanes. He's going to take it all the way and turn on the Jets here in the broken field. The defensive back's not going to be able to catch him. So it brings the versatility. If he struggles a little early because of that inexperience at wide receiver, you can work him in as a kick returner. Averaged 30 yards per kickoff return this past season. And despite that limited experience, he's still, I think, a very polished wide receiver coming out of Syracuse.
Listen to you do a highlight saying he could go all the way. What's the matter with you? Now they're cross-state rivals. The Cincinnati Bengals make a pick.
33rd selection overall, the Cincinnati Bengals select defensive back Charles Fisher from West Virginia University.
Good pick. Good pick, Mel. You talked about him a few picks ago.
Yeah, I thought for Jacksonville at that point, because he's 6 feet even, and he came on strong as a senior. You know, Fernando Bryant did it over the long haul at Alabama, but this season, I didn't think there was a better corner out there except for the top two. You know, Bryant, certainly had a good year, but I think overall, you look at Charles Fisher here, anticipation and toughness. 6 feet even, so he can hold up against those big wideouts that Joe was talking about. And I think certainly as a senior, stepped up from a technical standpoint as a wide receiver when he came to West Virginia. So needed to develop after you get past the top group of cornerbacks. And we had some outstanding players in Champ Bailey and Chris McAllister. Winfield, because of his great productivity with those 214 tackles. Charles Fisher was in that next tier of corners. And early in the second round, after Jacksonville went for Bryant, it's a nice choice for the Bengals, who need help at that position.
Let's go back to Cleveland, Joe. And last year, we remember Indianapolis, not an expansion team, but almost starting over. Right. Manning, Pathon, quarterback, wide receiver. Here's Cleveland. Couch, Johnson. It adds up, doesn't it?
It really does, Chris, and I think you have to take into consideration the job that Cleveland has done in free agency. When they had the free agent draft and the expansion draft, they really went after offensive linemen. They built themselves a nice veteran group up front, which allowed them now to go to skilled players. You get your quarterback, now you get a young wide receiver. When I watch Kevin Johnson run, I'm reminded a little bit of Tony Martin. Tony Martin was a quarterback coming out of college. Johnson with a little more polished skills because he's been at the wide receiver position just a little bit longer. Lanky, got some speed, got a good pair of hands, uses his hands to catch the football, is not a body catcher, and then has the ability to run with the ball after he catches it. So I see a little bit of a Tony Martin agility and speed in him when I see him at wide receiver. Certainly you love to get a quarterback and a wide receiver in together. Both of them learn, grow up together. Who knows, you might wind up with the proverbial combination of ever, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice.
Well, that would be terrible, wouldn't it?
That would break Harmon's heart, wouldn't it? To see it all over again, and Dwight's too.
He returns kicks, he returns punts, he's all around. Well, let's go out now to Cleveland and get the latest. Sal Paolantonio with the coach, Chris Palmer.
Thanks, Chris. Chris Palmer, you've had 2 successful picks. You started out with Tim Couch, Kevin Johnson in the second round. Let's start with Kevin Johnson. You wanted to get Patrick Kearney. That was the guy that you were looking for, and then he was taken off the board, and you were a little bit disappointed. What happened?
Well, you know, we had our eye on Patrick, and we thought he may fall to us after Dallas passed on him. And then when Kevin was there, we were really excited. We thought he was a big play receiver that has played in the running back. He's been a quarterback, and we think he'll come in and definitely give us some help at our wide receiver spot.
Return some kicks as well?
You know, I guess he's third in the Big East in returning kicks, so we're excited about that. And I guess he's got 4 touchdowns for a return for touchdown, 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns. So we're excited about having him. And
your quarterback is Tim Couch. Take us through the final steps of you deciding between Tim Couch and Akili Smith. Tim Couch.
Well, you know, I worked both guys out. I saw Akili in the combine and then in a private workout. I saw Tim in his private workout, then his second workout, which was private for us. And at that time, I came away realizing he had a much stronger arm than he did in the first workout, and we were very pleased with it. We went back as an organization, sat and talked about it, and we came to the conclusion late in the week that we could take any one of 3 players, but our first choice would be Tim Couch.
And your hope is to get Tim Couch in here right after classes are done in May to get him started on the off-season program, get him right into your passing game?
Well, the NFL and the American Football Coaches Association have agreed to allow the players that are done with their classwork to be in on May 16th, and Tim falls into that situation, and he'll be in here on May 16th.
Chris Palmer's got his battery set. Tim Couch and Kevin Johnson. Boomer, let's go back to you in New York.
All right, Sal and Coach Palmer, very quietly. I mean, you ask Drew Bledsoe or Mark Brunell about Chris Palmer and their development of quarterback, and they will give you rave reviews. Great matchup with Tim Couch. And now, when we come back, Carolina on the clock. They did not have a first-round pick, so George Seifert's first pick as head coach of the Panthers. We'll be back.
Rogaine Extra Strength works for 4 out of 5 men.
What do you mean works?
Regrows hair, or at least stops hair loss.
With my luck, I'll be that 5th guy.
Probably not. But here's our guarantee. Give Rogaine Extra Strength an honest chance. You be the judge. It stops hair loss, or regrows hair, more hair, thicker hair, faster, or we give your money back. Guaranteed. Rogaine Extra Strength works for you, or your money back.
I can't lose.
Dear Great Aunt Edith, camp is fun, but dear Uncle Lenny, camp is fun, but I need money for arts and crafts. I miss you. Love, Billy. P.S. I made this candle for you.
No, more pathetic. Come on, pathetic. Nice.
With new Polaroid greeting cards, you can show your relatives how much you really love them.
Okay, that's all of Billy's relatives. Who's next?
Got a TV here?
Yeah, just pull over by the hot tub.
Polaroid. See what develops.
Smells like money.
Stone Cold Steve Austin for 1-800-COLLECT.
I'm not talking to you. What did I do? You're so insensitive. Dial 0 when you called me last night. You should have dialed 1-800-COLLECT. It would have saved me a bundle. How do you think it makes me feel?
Next time I use 1-800-COLLECT, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Me neither. Dial 1-800-COLLECT or else.
Is Jason there? I'll see.